researchers first analyzed the genome of a brand new coronavirus in Wuhan. Its genetic sequence looked like this. 3 weeks later, researchers sequenced the genome of the same virus in a patient in Seattle. It had changed here and here and here. These changes are happening all over the world. The coronavirus.
Born with ADHD, yeah, me so bad that my teacher couldn't teach. IEP with goals I couldn't meet. Testing my knowledge with all of these sheets. A problem occur whenever I speak.
It's your boy, BigBossJawon, back with another video. Before I get into this video, Dedicated and Wavy is out right now on all music streaming platforms. Don't forget to check that out. Along with the music video to Dedicated is out on YouTube right now. Let's get them numbers up. Let's get it. Let's go. You know, y'all know I pick videos off of trending. So I want to see what's going on in the world as well. So we're going to check this out, man. Why not? The title of this video is "The Coronavirus is Mutating, Now What?"
Back when researchers first analyzed the genome of a brand new coronavirus in Wuhan, its genetic sequence looked like this. 3 weeks later, researchers sequenced the genome of the same virus in a patient in Seattle. It had changed here and here and here. These changes are happening all over the world. The coronavirus.
Is it ever going away? That's what I want to know. This is my question, Mo. But we're going to get into that at the end of the video. I'm going to ask my little questions and, see what's going on.
Is mutating. It's changed hundreds of times since January, but researchers are concerned about one mutation in particular. So my question.
It's many different strands of it, bro. That's not sitting too right with me, bro.
Is the coronavirus becoming more dangerous? I'm Cleo Abram, and this is Answered by Vox.
Well, there's two ways one can think about danger. First is that the virus causes a more severe disease, and that doesn't appear to be the case.
That's Professor of Immunology Michael Farzan. He says the second way that mutations could make the virus more dangerous is if it becomes more contagious. But before we get there, here's the good news. My understanding is that most mutations in the coronavirus,
She said, here's the good news. There's no good news. This isn't good at all.
So in every virus, don't actually change how it behaves in our bodies at all. Is that right?
Yes, most mutations do not change very much. They actually are just part of the process of sort of selection, and they go away.
A virus, at its most basic, is just a bunch of genetic material packed into a protein shell. In the case of the coronavirus, that genetic material is RNA, which is made up of 4 nucleotide bases. You might remember the bases A, C, T, G from DNA. With RNA, it's just U, not T. When the virus gets into your body, its goal is to copy itself, which means it needs to produce more RNA and more proteins. A virus doesn't always make an
That's how it kills you. It gets in you, and then so many more of that same thing produces in you, so it's stronger. That's what it seemed like to me. But let's go.
Copy of its RNA. And when it makes a random mistake in that copying process, that's a mutation. But it's when it's copying the proteins that things really get interesting. Within that newly copied RNA, each group of 3 nucleotides, called a codon, can instruct your cells to produce one building block of protein, called an amino acid. Amino acids all come with letter names too. D, G, Y, I, you get the idea. Different amino acid combinations mean different proteins. But as it turns out,
several different codons encode for the same amino acid.
So, for example, say the nucleotides ACU mutated into ACG. It's still going to tell your cell to produce.
Honestly, all these letters, I don't understand really what this part is talking about, but if you do, okay, let me know in the comments. Let me know something, y'all. Let's go.
Exact same amino acid, T. This mutation doesn't change the protein at all.
We call those silent mutations.
But even if it's a non-silent mutation, something that does actually change the amino acid and changes the protein, that doesn't always necessarily change how a virus behaves in our bodies, right?
That's absolutely right. In fact, the genetic code is designed to be conservative, meaning that changes that it's likely to make are likely to have a minor effect on the function of the proteins they encode for. So in general, mutations are expected, in the course of an epidemic or pandemic. Most of these mutations do not have a strong impact on the severity of the virus or even the transmission of the virus.
Of course, that's not always the case. And for COVID-19, scientists are concerned about one mutation in particular that might have an impact on how the virus spreads.
The formal name is D614G, and that is a code for the individual amino acids at position 614 of this spike protein that have changed.
I see. Okay, so it's the 614th amino acid, and it changes from D to G?
Correct.
Unfortunately, D614G just so happens to...
Why they laughing? Like, why are they smiling about any of this, bro? That just kind of like really like threw me off, but that's what it is.
in the part of the genetic sequence that encodes for the viral spike proteins, those key proteins that the coronavirus uses to invade cells.
The red protein that everybody sees on the surface of the pictures of the coronavirus, there's more of those on viruses with this change than on viruses without this change.
Dr. Farzan and his team found that with more spike proteins, the mutated virus is more likely to infect cells in culture in their lab. But infecting cells in culture is really very different from it being more infectious out in the world between people, right?
It is certainly more likely to infect a cell in culture. What the next step is to demonstrate that our results in cell culture translate to human transmission.
Okay, so just to be super clear, we don't know that this mutation causes the virus to pass more easily between humans. It does seem to be more transmissible between cells in a lab, and it also seems to become the dominant form of the virus as it spreads. Where is this mutated version of the coronavirus now?
I actually, everywhere. The first detection of this virus.
Yeah, everywhere. Like everywhere in the world. Like everywhere.
Been in Germany in late January. And then you would see that virus sort of grow up in Europe, and you would see sort of a mixture of viruses in the United States, but then over time you would see more and more virus with this mutation.
So, what we know right now is that researchers believe the mutations that we're seeing aren't making cases of the coronavirus more severe. They are concerned that the D614G mutation might make the virus more contagious, but the research so far is limited to cells in a lab. And scientists just aren't sure yet how the mutation will affect contagion rates in the real world. And if you just remember one thing, it's this. Does what we know about this mutation change anything that people should be doing in their daily lives to prevent themselves and their loved ones from getting or transmitting coronavirus?
No, just a reminder that this is a very transmissible virus. It always has been. It might have gotten a little bit more transmissible, and you should be very careful at every point to make sure that people are protected.
It's your boy BigBossJawon, and we just watched the coronavirus is mutating. Now what? Now what? You know, but a lot of the stuff, like, like half of the video when they got talking about the letters and stuff, I didn't really know what they was talking about. But this joint ain't going. It's not going nowhere. Nowhere. Okay, so we're gonna be around for a long, long time. They don't know how to deal with it, how to go about it, or anything. In my opinion, they don't even know what to really recommend you to do or anything. But sadly, that's just what's going on right now. It's your boy BigBossJawon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it. Let's go.
Born with ADHD and me so bad that my teacher couldn't teach. IEP with goals I couldn't meet. Testing my knowledge with all of these sheets. A problem occur whenever I speak.